Every morning you wake up, you're given a choice, a chance to build your mind before the world tries to break your focus. The sunrise is not just light, it's an invitation to strengthen your discipline, sharpen your thoughts, and prepare your spirit for the weight of the day. Because the truth is simple, you don't rise to your goals, you rise to your standards. And those standards are set in the quiet hours before anyone else is watching. This is the moment where your mindset is forged, where your direction is chosen, where the version of you that walks out into the world is created. If you want a stronger life, you start with a stronger morning. And if you want a stronger morning, you must build a stronger mind, brick by brick, choice by choice, before your feet even hit the ground. Wake YTJI2. Waking with gratitude is more than a habit. It is a mental shift, a deliberate act of reclaiming your power before the noise of the world tries to steal it. Gratitude is the first brick in building a strong mind every morning because it forces your thoughts to rise above circumstance, above inconvenience, above whatever weight you carried into yesterday. When you open your eyes and intentionally choose to acknowledge something good in your life, you immediately redirect your focus from what is missing to what is present, from what is broken to what is still standing, from what went wrong to what can still go right. Gratitude does not erase problems, but it places them in the right perspective. It shrinks the chaos, calms the noise, and reminds you that you still have something, someone, or some opportunity worth fighting for. And that reminder alone can change the entire tone of your day, because the mind follows the trail of whatever you place first in the morning. If you start with fear, the mind hunts for danger. If you start with stress, the mind searches for pressure. But if you start with gratitude, the mind looks for possibility. And when your mind is trained to look for possibility, you move differently, think differently, respond differently. You become someone who sees potential where others see problems. You become someone who grows through difficulty instead of shrinking beneath it. Gratitude is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about recognizing that even in imperfection, there is something to stand on. Maybe it's the breath in your body, the roof over your head, the chance to try again, the lesson you learned the hard way, or the strength you didn't know you had until life forced you to find it. Gratitude is awareness. It is perspective. It is discipline. And most importantly, it is a decision, one you must make every single morning, because the world is full of distractions designed to make you forget what you already have. Social media convinces you you're behind. The news convinces you the world is falling apart. Expectations convince you you're not enough. But gratitude cuts through all of that. It brings you back to center. It reminds you that progress begins with presence. That strength begins with stability. That clarity begins with appreciation. When you wake with gratitude, you wake with intention. And intention is the backbone of mental strength. Practicing this doesn't require rituals or perfection. It requires honesty. Before reaching for your phone, reach for one thought that affirms your life. Say to yourself, I'm grateful for this morning. I'm grateful for this breath. I'm grateful for the chance to get it right today. Those words may feel small, but they are powerful. They are a command to your mind to rise higher than doubt, higher than fear, higher than yesterday. Over time, this practice becomes armor. On the days when life hits hard, when uncertainty shakes your confidence, when frustration clouds your focus, gratitude becomes your anchor. It grounds you in truth when your emotions try to tell you lies. It reminds you of the strength you've already demonstrated, the storms you've already walked through, the mountains you've already climbed. You've survived moments you were certain would break you. You've risen from situations you thought would end you. Gratitude acknowledges that. It says, I'm still here. And being here is enough reason to keep going. The beauty of waking with gratitude is that it rewrites the script of your morning. Instead of letting circumstances dictate your mindset, you choose your mindset first, and then approach your circumstances with renewed strength. It creates a mental momentum that influences your decisions, your conversations, your reactions, and your confidence throughout the entire day. Gratitude makes you kinder without losing your strength, patient without losing your standards, humble without losing your ambition. And when practiced consistently, it creates a mental environment where growth becomes natural, where resilience becomes instinctive, where peace becomes possible. You can train your mind to see what is good before it sees what is missing. You can train your spirit to rise before your worries do. You can train your thoughts to start the day from a place of power instead of pressure. That is the gift of gratitude. That is the discipline of champions. And that is the first step in building a mind strong enough to carry you through anything life puts in front of you. SETORENDNTON. Setting your intention every morning is the moment you become the architect of your own day instead of a passenger dragged along by circumstance. Intention is direction, purpose, and clarity wrapped into a single force that decides how you move, how you think, and how you respond. When you wake without intention, your mind becomes reactive, easily pulled, easily distracted, easily shaped by whatever noise reaches you first. But when you start your morning by choosing who you want to be and how you want to carry yourself, you shift from reacting to creating. You become the one in control. Intention is not about predicting the day, it's about preparing the mind. It's about planting a flag in the ground before the world tries to pull you off your path. It's saying, this is my direction, this is my energy, this is what I stand for today. Without that, the day decides for you. With it, you decide for the day. Setting your intention is not a complicated ritual. It is a focused moment, a clear declaration, a quiet conversation between you and your future self. It can be one sentence, one thought, one commitment, but it must be honest. It must be chosen, not borrowed. Many people start their morning consumed by urgency, messages, mistakes, deadlines, expectations, and they wonder why they feel overwhelmed. But intention slows the noise, centers the mind, and reminds you that the first responsibility of the day is not to respond, but to direct. If you start your day waiting to be told what matters, everything will feel urgent. But if you start by deciding what matters, everything else must align around you. Intention becomes your filter, your guide for what deserves your attention and what doesn't. And in a world full of distractions, your intention becomes your protection. Think of intention as a compass. A compass doesn't remove obstacles, it simply ensures you don't get lost in them. When you set your intention, you are telling your mind where to go even when the path gets messy, even when stress tries to rewrite your energy, even when doubt whispers louder than your confidence. You cannot control what texts come in, what problems appear, what challenges arise, but you can control the standard you walk in with. You can control the tone you set for yourself. You can control the mindset you use to face whatever shows up. Intention is strength because it gives your spirit a destination before the day has a chance to mislead it. The beauty of intention is that it reminds you of your power to choose patience when frustration calls, your power to choose integrity when shortcuts appear, your power to choose discipline when comfort tempts you, your power to choose calm when chaos surrounds you. Every intention is a promise not to the world, but to yourself. A promise that says, I will show up with purpose today. And the more consistently you keep that promise, the more your mind begins to trust you, the more your confidence deepens, and the more your discipline becomes natural instead of forced. Some days your intention may be strength. Some days it may be peace. Some days it may be focus, courage, humility, or progress. What matters is not the word, it's the commitment behind it. It's the decision to guide your thoughts before your emotions do. When you step into the day with clarity, your decisions sharpen, your reactions slow, your awareness expands. You begin to see opportunities you used to miss and solutions you used to overlook. Because intention clears mental fog, it sharpens your vision. It turns the mind into a tool instead of a battlefield. Setting your intention also helps you resist being shaped by other people's urgency, chaos, or negativity. When someone tries to ruin your peace, your intention reminds you, not today. When pressure tries to throw you off balance, your intention whispers, stay steady. When doubt tries to break your confidence, your intention counters with, I choose belief. This is the power of beginning your day with a standard. The world will always try to claim your energy, but intention ensures that you give it only to what aligns with your purpose. It helps you stay consistent when life feels unpredictable. It gives you direction when circumstances feel uncertain. It becomes your anchor, holding you steady while everything else moves around you. And here is the truth, intention shapes identity. You cannot build a strong mind without building strong habits of thought, and intention is where those habits begin. If you want to become someone more focused, set intentions that align with focus. If you want to become someone more disciplined, set intentions that demand discipline. If you want to become someone more confident, set intentions that strengthen confidence. Over time, those intentions stop being morning thoughts and start becoming daily behavior. Then they become natural instinct. Then they become identity. And identity shapes destiny. So every morning, before you move, before you scroll, before you speak to anyone, speak to yourself. Choose your tone. Choose your direction. Choose what kind of day you will build and what kind of person you will be in it. This is the foundation of mental power. This is the second step in building a mind that does not break under pressure, but rises above it with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Setting your intention is not just part of your morning routine, it is the steering wheel of your life. Speaking power into yourself every morning is not about empty positivity, it is about commanding your mind to rise before the world has a chance to push it down. Your words shape your thoughts shape your decisions, and your decisions shape your life. Too many people begin their mornings with doubt, fear, comparison, or complaints, and then wonder why the rest of the day feels heavy. But the truth is simple: the tone you speak to yourself with becomes the tone you walk into the world with. When you speak weakness, you move weak. When you speak hesitation, you act hesitant. When you speak defeat, you start the day already beat. But when you speak power, real, deliberate, intentional power, you activate a part of your mind that refuses to shrink, refuses to quit, and refuses to be defined by anything smaller than your potential. Your morning words are seeds. Whether you realize it or not, you plant something every time you open your mouth. The question is, are you planting strength or fear? Are you planting discipline or excuses? Are you planting belief or insecurity? Successful minds are not built by accident. They are built by repetition, by consistency, by a steady diet of empowering thoughts that turn into empowering actions. When you speak power into yourself, you remind your mind of who you are, what you stand for, and what you are capable of, even when your circumstances haven't caught up to your potential yet. Words are not magic, but they are momentum. They push you in a direction, forward, backward, or nowhere. Your brain listens to you more than anyone else on earth. The world might doubt you. People might underestimate you. Situations might challenge you. But your own voice, your inner voice, has the greatest influence over your mindset, your energy, and your persistence. If your thoughts were a coach, would you want that coach leading your life? Would you trust your current self-talk to guide you through fear, stress, setbacks, or pressure? The reality is this: your mind becomes whatever you repeatedly tell it. That is why speaking power into yourself is not optional. If you want a strong life, it's essential. It's the mental fuel that keeps you moving when motivation runs out, when challenges appear, when the day hits harder than expected. Speaking power into yourself doesn't mean ignoring your struggles. It means refusing to let your struggles write your story. It means acknowledging the difficulty but deciding not to bow to it. It means choosing strength even when you feel uncertain. Each morning, you must declare something that lifts your mindset above the noise. Tell yourself, I can handle whatever comes today. Tell yourself, I will not fold under pressure. Tell yourself, I am building discipline. Tell yourself, I am stronger than yesterday. These statements are not just affirmations, they are instructions. They train your subconscious to operate from confidence rather than fear, from clarity rather than confusion, from power rather than weakness. In a world that constantly tries to convince you that you're not enough, speaking power into yourself is an act of rebellion. It is how you protect your potential from being suffocated by comparison. It is how you shield your confidence from being destroyed by doubt. And it is how you build an inner strength that no one can take from you. Social media might show you everyone else's highlight reel, but your words bring you back to your own path. Challenges might shake your environment, but your words stabilize your spirit. Mistakes might remind you of your past, but your words remind you of your future. This is the power of what you declare each morning. It resets your focus, renews your identity, and strengthens your resolve. Every great leader, every disciplined mind, every resilient soul learned the same truth: the voice inside you must be stronger than the voices around you. Because when pressure hits, when plans fall apart, when life doesn't go as expected, you will fall back on whatever conversation you've been having with yourself. If that conversation has been filled with doubt, you will hesitate. If it has been filled with fear, you will hide. But if you have been filling your mind with power, courage, belief, and determination, you will face challenges with a strength you didn't even know you had. Your self-talk becomes your shield. It becomes your anchor. It becomes your fuel. And the beauty of this practice is that it grows over time. The more you speak power into yourself, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, it stops being something you do and becomes someone you are. You become the person who doesn't crumble when things get tough. You become the person who talks yourself back into focus, back into calm, back into discipline. You become the person who can encourage yourself even when no one else knows what you're fighting. This self-generated strength is priceless. It is the foundation of a resilient mind and a purposeful life. So every morning, take a moment before the world gets loud, before responsibilities pull at you, before doubt tries to creep in, and choose your words with intention. Speak strength into your spirit. Speak clarity into your thoughts. Speak discipline into your day, because the words you choose in the morning become the power you carry through the day. And this is how you build a mind that cannot be shaken, a heart that cannot be discouraged, and a spirit that cannot be defeated. Make ye your bed, makiyo your steadard. Making your bed every morning may seem small, but it is one of the most powerful foundations for building a disciplined, focused, and resilient mind. This is not about neatness. This is not about decoration. This is about setting a standard for yourself before the world sets one for you. When you make your bed, you are practicing order in a world that constantly pulls you toward chaos. You are proving, before you step outside, before you speak to anyone, before you face any pressure, that you are capable of completing a task with excellence. And that single act, done consistently, becomes the first victory of your day. That victory matters, because the mind remembers it. The body feels it. Your confidence grows from it. And your discipline strengthens because of it. A strong life is not built from big moments of motivation. It is built from small acts of consistency repeated every morning long before anyone sees the results. Making your bed is symbolic. It says, I am in control. It says, I set the tone. It says, I hold myself to a standard. In a world where responsibilities, stress, and uncertainty can easily feel overwhelming, this small intentional action grounds you. It tells your mind that you are someone who finishes what you start. It builds a quiet momentum that carries into the next task, and the next one, and the next. When you begin your day by completing something simple with excellence, your brain releases a small boost of achievement, a mental spark that makes the rest of the day easier to face. That spark strengthens your morning mindset. It shifts your energy from passive to active. It turns your movement from reactive to intentional. Suddenly, you are not stumbling into the day. You are stepping into it, prepared, aligned, and disciplined. The truth is this: most people do not fail because the big things defeated them. They fail because they never mastered the small things. The small things shape your habits. The small things sharpen your discipline. The small things form your identity. When you ignore the small tasks, you train your mind to be comfortable with neglect. But when you handle the small tasks with honor, you train your mind to respect responsibility. This is why making your bed matters. Because if you cannot bring order to something as simple as your own space, how will you bring order to your goals? If you cannot manage what is in front of you, how will you manage what is beyond you? A disciplined mind begins with simple discipline. And the bed is the first place where discipline shows up every morning. There is another layer to this habit. When you return home at the end of a long day, the world may have drained you, challenged you, or tested you, but your room will not reflect chaos back at you. Instead, you will return to a space that reminds you of who you are at your best. Someone with structure, someone with order, someone with intention. Your environment is a reflection of your internal world. A cluttered room encourages a cluttered mind. A chaotic environment fosters chaotic thoughts. But a clean, organized, intentionally prepared space strengthens mental clarity. When you walk into a room that shows discipline, your mind naturally wants to rise to that level. This is why making your bed is not a chore, it is mental conditioning. In life, the people who rise the highest are not the ones who wait for motivation. They are the ones who create momentum through discipline. Making your bed each morning builds that momentum. It signals to your mind that you are someone who demands excellence even in the smallest tasks. That mindset transfers into how you work, how you speak, how you carry yourself, and how you handle challenges. Without realizing it, you begin to expect more from yourself. You begin to hold yourself accountable. You begin to move with a standard, and standards shape identity. When you give your energy to excellence, excellence eventually becomes your default. Some may argue that making a bed is too insignificant to matter. But that is the point. If you cannot dominate the small, you cannot dominate the large. Success does not start with giant leaps. It starts with small, consistent steps. Discipline is not built in the moment you need it. It is built in the mornings when no one is watching. And character is not shaped by the days you feel strong, but by the days you choose to follow through anyway. Making your bed is a daily reminder that discipline is not about how you feel, it is about who you choose to be. This simple act teaches responsibility, builds self-respect, and forms mental sharpness that carries throughout the day. It teaches you that the little things count. It teaches you that your environment matters. It teaches you that you have the power to shape your space, your mindset, and your day. And most importantly, it teaches you that excellence is a choice, not an accident. Every time you make your bed, you are choosing excellence. You are choosing order. You are choosing strength. You are choosing to start your day with a win instead of waiting for the world to hand you one. So, tomorrow morning, before your feet even touch the floor, take control. Straighten the sheets. Smooth the covers. Bring order to your space. And as you do, remind yourself, this is my standard. This is where my discipline begins. This is how I shape my day. Because when you master the small, you build the mindset required to conquer the big. And this is how you build a mind capable of standing firm, staying focused, and moving with purpose every single morning. FEDUR me and before AU FEDUR a hand GR. Feeding your mind before you feed your hunger is one of the most transformative habits you can build into your mornings because it shifts your life from operating on instinct to operating on intention. The moment you wake up, your mind is wide open, absorbent, impressionable, and ready to receive its first instructions for the day. If the first thing you consume is noise, negativity, social media, or the worries waiting on your phone, your mind becomes scattered before you've even had a chance to find your center. But when you choose to nourish your mind with something empowering, something informative, something that elevates your thinking, you set the mental foundation that shapes the rest of your day. Feeding your mind first is not just a routine. It is a declaration that your growth matters more than your impulses, that your clarity matters more than your cravings, and that your purpose deserves attention before the world demands it from you. Your morning mind is like a field. Whatever you plant in it will grow throughout the day. If you plant doubt, doubt multiplies. If you plant distraction, distraction follows you. But if you plant wisdom, strength, focus, and positivity, those qualities become your mindset, your decisions, and your reaction to challenges. Feeding your mind is an act of self-respect. It is telling yourself, I deserve to start my day with something that strengthens me. Imagine how different your life becomes when your first intake isn't chaos but clarity, not pressure but perspective, not comparison but inspiration, not junk mental food but nourishment that elevates you. Strong minds do not happen by accident. They are fed into existence every single morning. Feeding your mind before your hunger can take many forms. It might be reading a page of a powerful book, listening to an inspiring message, journaling your thoughts, studying something valuable, or simply sitting in silence with your own purpose. It does not require hours. Even 5 minutes of reading or reflection can shift you from reactive to grounded. The goal is not quantity, it is quality. A single powerful sentence can frame your entire day. A single idea can redirect your mindset. A single thought can shift your perspective. By feeding your mind first, you teach yourself that the world does not get access to you before you give access to yourself. People often underestimate how deeply their mornings shape their mental patterns. If you wake up and immediately eat, scroll, rush, or stress, your mind becomes overwhelmed and unfocused. But when you start by feeding your mind, you tell your spirit to slow down, breathe, and prepare. You give yourself space to think. You create room for intention. You build the mental stability needed to face whatever challenges your day holds. A hungry stomach can wait, a hungry mind cannot, because the strength of your day depends far more on your mental nutrition than your physical nutrition. Feeding your mind before your hunger also builds discipline. It teaches you to delay gratification, to prioritize long-term growth over short-term comfort. When you train yourself to start with the mind, you strengthen the part of you that makes powerful decisions, not convenient ones. This discipline spills into every area of your life, your work ethic, your consistency, your goals, your relationships, your habits. You begin to think with clarity instead of impulse. You begin to act with intention instead of reaction. You begin to carry yourself with purpose instead of drifting through the day on automatic pilot. Your future self is shaped by the information you feed your mind today. If you feed your mind nothing, you grow nothing. If you feed it negativity, you become negativity. If you feed it strength, you become strength. This is why you must be deliberate about what enters your mind during those first sacred minutes of the morning. The world will feed you stress soon enough. Your responsibilities will demand your energy soon enough. Your challenges will require your strength soon enough. But before any of that, you must give your mind the nourishment it needs to stay strong. You wouldn't expect a plant to grow without water. You wouldn't expect a body to grow without food. So why expect your mind to grow without feeding it? When you start your morning by feeding your mind, everything else you do becomes sharper. Your thoughts become clearer. Your decisions become stronger. Your work becomes more focused. Your emotions become more controlled. Your confidence grows because you know you have prepared your mind for greatness before facing the world. Most people wake up and let life tell them who they are. But when you feed your mind first while you tell life who you are, You start from a place of power, not pressure, clarity, not confusion, purpose, not panic. And the beauty of this habit is that it compounds. Just like investing money, the earlier and more consistently you invest in your mind, the greater the return over time. One morning of feeding your mind may not change your life, but months of feeding your mind, years of feeding your mind. That is where transformation happens. That is where you become someone unshakable, someone wise, someone grounded, someone whose mind has been sharpened through daily nourishment. So every morning, before you touch your phone, before you eat, before you rush into the world, give your mind something strong to stand on. A quote, a verse, a truth, a lesson, a reminder, a goal, a vision. Feed your mind before your hunger, because the strongest version of you is the one that chooses growth before comfort and purpose before impulse. And when you build this habit, you don't just shape your morning, you shape your entire life.